Fall is here, but ticks are still biting despite the cooler temperature.
The nonprofit Companion Animal Parasite Council just issued its fall parasite forecast, predicting increased risk of Lyme disease in the coming months.
And joining us live this morning, our parasitologist, Dr. Susan Little, and CAPC Executive Director, Dr. Chris Carpenter. Good morning to both of you.
We're talking with Dr. Susan Little and Dr. Chris Carpenter. Good morning to the both of you. How are you?
The adult tick that transmit Lyme disease to pets and people is most active in many areas from October through March. Joining us live this morning are Dr. Susan Little and CAPC Executive Director, Dr. Chris Carpenter. Good morning to you both.
Just because cooler months are upon us, pet owners still need to pay attention to a pesky problem. News 4 Tucson's Chris Clackham explains what that is.
Veterinarians say an important point for pet owners heading into winter: fleas and ticks pay no attention to calendars.
Welcome back. Winter just around the corner, believe it or not, and here's a winter forecast that pet owners need to pay attention to. It involves a pesky problem that we used to think only popped up during the summer months. Details from NBC's Chris Clackham.
So this winter, they're forecasting an active season for tick-borne Lyme disease among dogs in much of the country, but mainly the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Upper Midwest, and California.
It's the immature ticks that transmit it to people, and they're active in the summer. But it's the adult ticks that are most likely to transmit to dogs, and those ticks are active October through March.
And we see that map behind you. Maine is in red. So does that mean that we are at a higher risk than other parts of the country?
There's been a dramatic increase in human cases of Lyme disease in Maine in the last decade, and in dogs being reported positive as infected with the agent that causes Lyme disease.
Our forecasts are a broad brush look at what's going to happen nationwide, but your pet owning population there in Portland can look at the CAPC prevalence maps on petsandparasites.org and see what the local activity is in their area, and because it is active in Portland, and we want them to know that it's very important this time of year to get protection for their pet.
And what we found with the forecast was really exciting because we could see the areas where Lyme disease traditionally has been hyper-endemic. The northeastern U.S., the upper Midwest, some areas along the West Coast.
It's so hard to predict what month or what day they're going to be active, and the safest way for them to make sure their pet is safe is to have them on year-round prevention, and that's what CAPC recommends.
And we often don't find the ticks on our dogs because, you know, it's under the fur, it's under the hair, and so they're hard to see. And so if we have that protection, that tick control product on the dogs year-round, they're protected.
Well, the most amazing news is that there's so many products, and they're very easy to use for a pet owner to go ahead and get their pet on preventative, but there's also a vaccine to protect their pet against Lyme disease. And the risk is very low with any of these products, but the reward is protecting their pet from a disease that actually can be fatal.
What are some things that we need to do to make sure our dogs and our cats and all of our animals stay safe?
The most important thing is to visit your veterinarian because they're the expert on your local climate, what the activity is in your area. We also make it easy for a pet owner to check themselves on petsandparasites.org. We have a prevalence map that we update every month.
Dr. Susan Little and Dr. Chris Carpenter are veterinarians, and both belong to the Companion Animal Parasite Council. That's the nonprofit group that runs the petsandparasites.org website, where details on the Lyme disease forecast can be found.
All right. Thank you, doctors. We appreciate it. Have a great Thursday.
Okay, Dr. Little, Dr. Carpenter, thanks very much for your time this morning.